Following the publication of his exclusive interview in which he named all the celebrities who had sex with Diddy, Terrence Howard has reportedly been threatened because of the identities he disclosed. A new lawsuit that has been filed in court that names Jay-Z, Beyonce, and even LeBron James has further exacerbated Diddy's predicament. This demonstrates that Diddy had relationships with some of the greatest personalities in the business. Additionally, the worst sex trafficking network in Hollywood will collapse if Diddy is imprisoned.
If you're going to speak against me, then use the same courage that it took for me to say those truths. Man to man, eye to eye, integrity and in truth. I've spent a lifetime earning the right to speak with the conviction about these truths that I speak. So if you want to tear that down, have the decency to come and say it directly to my face. And say it like a man.
Terrence Howard, an Oscar-nominated actor, quit the movie business because he was aware of what goes on behind closed doors. This business is based on couch casting and sexual favors, as shown by Diddy's incarceration and the recordings he made. Terrence Howard recently said on an episode of the Patrick Bet-David podcast that he turned down some of the most important jobs of his career in order to maintain his ethics. Terrence had morals, but Diddy wanted to have sex with him.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in to make the approach. And you threaten to punch them in the mouth. Or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing. And I've lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that shit because the man card means everything.
According to Terrence, those who accept these offers and compromise their morals will always carry the abuse with them. If achieving success requires sacrificing your respect, what good is it? Terrence claims that celebrities like Usher and Justin Bieber are mentally ill and use narcotics to block off the memories of their mistreatment.
So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
Terrence Howard tweeted before to his interview saying he was just getting started and that he would expose all the falsehoods. The big falsehood comes to an end here. Now that the truth has come to light after years of waiting, let's live by it. We are dismantling this whole deception system. The revolution is underway. Stay tuned and make room for life. we have only just begun. Following his interview, Terrence Howard reportedly received threats and was contacted by the individuals he had discussed. Terrence Howard said this in a video that was made public after his interview.
Listen, before y'all talk about me, y'all need to talk to me. You see, once upon a time, if a man questioned another man's honor, he didn't do it from the shadows. He had to do it out in the open, with his name, his chest out, and his chin high. Not hiding behind the keyboard or tucked behind editing clips of fair use disclaimers. You see, citing Section 107 of the Copyright Act does not give you free rein to defame, misrepresent, or harm another's reputation. Fair use is not a shield for character assassination. So here's the simple truth. If you take my words, my image, my ideas, and twist them to feed your fear and inflate your ego, if you profit off of my name while calling me a liar, then be prepared to stand behind your accusations.
As we peel back the layers of what Terrence Howard has been saying, we see that Hollywood is filled with predators. Sexual abuse is rampant in the film industry. And some of the biggest names, like Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Roman Polanski, and now Diddy, were all sexual predators who used young men and forced them into degrading sex acts. These people are part of the gay mafia that controls Hollywood and the music industry. Record company executives and directors were all involved in the trafficking ring with Diddy.
You got to take drugs. You're going through so much shit to try and deal with life. You are literally, it's an unhealthy space. And so eventually you're going to go too far, you know? Who knows what happened to Philip? Who knows what Heath had to do in order to get to where he was at? There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head, you know? But when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right of being a mother and taking care of her family and do all those things, when you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card.
This is what 50 Cent has been saying for years. Every celebrity that was going to Diddy's freak-off parties knew what was going on behind the scenes, but they kept quiet because that's how you make it in this industry. Enabling the abuse of minors and actually helping Diddy cover up his crimes is something that all of Diddy's guests are guilty of.
You and Puff haven't liked each other business-wise for a long time.
Well, that's why it's only business. It was really away from that. I explained why I didn't hang out with him, right? Because it's a little fluffy stuff going on.
It's not your scene.
It's not my style.
Not your scene.
They hug you from the front and the back at the same time. I got uncomfortable with him because the way he was acting to try and get me to hang out with him was like, "Yo, I'll take you shopping." Like, and I'm like, "What you mean?" Like, that's something you say to a woman you're attracted to, maybe.
Right.
It's just weird, bro. Like, and now you start to see a lot of the weird stuff that was there. It looks like it all lines up, don't it? It was not in the closet. It was in front of you, and you wasn't seeing it because you see the beards, or you see the girls. So you didn't look at them the way it actually is to a degree. Like, And when I say people respond, how people respond to things matter. Like the internet will take to it and just go off with it. Meek responds being the uncomfortability. He goes, yo, nah, I spent $100,000 to find out why my name is in this like this. And it's in it only because he's uncomfortable.
Meek Mill was hanging out with Diddy, going shopping with him, and showing up to parties in matching clothes after 50 rejected Diddy. 50 said that he rejected Diddy because he knew what going out with Diddy really meant. Diddy was sexually interested in 50, but 50 said no. Meek Mill said yes because he was ready to give up his man card in return for fame and money.
Yeah, but you got close when he offered to take you shopping.
Yeah, you see, now Meek is in the same shirt. He's out there in the same shirt. This is not Photoshop. Shit. This is stop it, man. You set that up. Look, obviously was not offended by what I was offended by. Guys may say to a girl, you know, like, let me take a shot. See?
Damn.
They found it that quick.
What do you think is happening in the middle?
I don't know what is going on there. Because it was like, he was like, yo, you hot now. Now we got to hang out now. Like, you know, like hang out.
Yeah.
He said, I don't know, man. I take you shopping and I get you some fly shit and you can give me the hood shit. And I was looking and I was like, let me just move away from him because I'm going to mess up the way. Certain things, they let it go by because it's Puff. He wasn't like in the closet. He was like in the hallway.
All these years, you being the only one calling this out.
I look like I've been the crazy guy for a long time.
They say you're a hater. They say you're crazy.
You do this, and now everybody's complaining. My ass is hurting.
Jay-Z and Beyonce have both been longtime supporters of Diddy. As the recent lawsuits now prove, they were regulars at his freak-off parties too. Jay-Z and Beyonce are people who married each other just for business reasons and to grow their empire. Their names have come up in 2 separate lawsuits now, and it's only a matter of time before they get indicted, just like Diddy. Look, when Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce.
Look, when Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. Mm-hmm. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those fucking trophies, trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
This guy. Wow. You're gonna let him say that?
Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
And he ain't show up.
No, he has like 20 now.
Hold on.
He had like 18 since he's been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
Hold on. You're not wrong. At the same time.
He got them shits. He's like drinking. His pictures with him like fucking thinks the cup.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
Absolutely, he's been treated differently.
The accolades.
Because he's no longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
Jay-Z's career, you can look at that and say the association to Beyonce is when he started to receive the 16, 17 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce. Right? And you go, prior to that, 1.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see the kids even have.
When he
Grammys,
signed that
like,
contract, the marriage contract,
they
he
don't
got
sing
trophies.
yet. They don't sing.
Now, those fucking
They don't rap
trophies,
yet. And they already have Grammys and shit. So it's like they
can't ruin anybody. He started getting Grammys left and right, man.
Secure that they're coming.
I'm a real good
to the
spender.
award show.
If you look at
that
his
much
career,
to the culture that they just
if you
gave
look at his
them
career,
the things that.
Oh wow, you gonna let him say that? You let him say that. Jay was dead crazy. He had one. He's like 20 now. He's like 18 since he's been down. He had one, bro. Hard Knock Life. You're not wrong. At the same time, he's got some shit he's been drinking. Trey's drinking right now. Fucking thinks the cup. Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage? Absolutely. He's been treated differently. The accolades are from the marriage.
You better believe it. Shout at Def Jam. We the best. You know what it is. It's 2010, baby. It's the takeover. I'm going in.
Happy New Year to the whole planet. God is the greatest. Real talk. And you know, I mean, if there's anything that somebody can say better than that, I'm all ears. But with that being said, continuous blessings to the whole entire universe.
Big shout out to my man Drake is in the house. Fabulous is in the house. This is all brotherly love. My biggest brother of them all, the boss, Ricky Ross, is in the house. Ricky Ross report to the grass. DJ Khaled, he's the best, he's in the house. Tiana Taylor's in the house. My brother Chris Brown, I'm gonna stick with him from thick and thin. Chris Brown is in the house. You know what I'm saying? The something ain't right, so I know Chris Brown is in the house. Big shout out to my son Quincy, my son Christian, my son Justin.
Diddy and Ross, which they good buddies, okay? They're gay.
Who?
Both. Diddy and Ross. And Khaled. They're all gay, okay?
DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, and P. Diddy?
Yeah.
They all gay?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Alright.
Khaled is a Hamas supporter. Okay?
Who supporter?
Hamas.
Hamas. Yeah.
Sorry, I said it wrong.
No worries.
Hamas supporter, okay?
Right.
I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot.
Oh, hidden in plain sight.
It's hidden.
I think I see what you're saying.
Okay, how do I know this?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do you know this?
Do you know Sean Combs?
Every major rapper was involved with Diddy. They're all silent now, but they can never get rid of the evidence. Just take a look at everyone that was partying with Diddy back in 2010. Busta Rhymes, Rick Ross, DJ Khaled, and Usher have always been close to Diddy. In May of 2018, Trump's National Doral golf course in Miami had to be closed down because of a shooter, Jonathan Audi. Jonathan claimed to be Diddy's alleged sex slave and said that he was being controlled.
That's probably not public information yet, but who's the person that's number one on that invitation list?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
And I can get on that list,
yes,
right?
Without a doubt, you are invited.
That is so generous of you. Cheers to that.
See you at the White Party.
Sean Diddy Combs is facing new accusations of human trafficking as he awaits his federal trial. In a civil case filed in Florida April 1st, Joseph Manzaro alleges, according to court documents obtained by E! News, that he was drugged, transported against his will, and sexually maimed as a victim of a coercive and organized criminal enterprise facilitated by Combs and others back in 2015.
Matters even worse for Jay-Z and Beyonce. Lawsuit, they were named, enlists 3 more major celebrities as witnesses. And this time, the defendant isn't an anonymous John Doe. A new civil lawsuit was just filed against Jay-Z, Beyonce, LeBron James, and Gloria Estefan for being part of a Diddy party where a man was allegedly sexually abused and humiliated. Defendant Joseph Manzaro alleges that back in 2015, he was drugged, transported against his will, and sexually maimed as a victim of a coercive and organized criminal enterprise. John Diddy Combs is facing new accusations of human trafficking as he awaits his federal trial. In a civil case filed in Florida April 1, Joseph Manzaro alleges, according to court documents obtained by E! News, that he was drugged, transported against his will, and sexually maimed as a victim of a coercive and organized criminal enterprise, facilitated by Combs and others back in 2015, and named celebs such as Beyonce, Jay-Z, and LeBron James as witnesses in his filing. Manzaro says the alleged events took place in April 2015. He states that he lost consciousness after feeling a, quote, greasy substance resembling Vaseline as he opened the front door to his home, after which he says he was transported to another residence where an associate of Combs allegedly told him that the music mogul wanted him brought to a freak-off event. Manzaro alleges in the suit he was secretly transferred to the music producer's home through a concealed tunnel allegedly connected to Gloria Estefan and Emilio Estefan's Miami property. He alleges that upon regaining partial consciousness, he found himself inside a large party area upon information and belief that it was a birthday party for Combs' then 17-year-old son, Christian Combs. There, he was allegedly forced to appear in a penis mask. The lawsuit states Jay-Z and Beyonce Knowles Carter were seated in the room, and upon seeing Manzaro, Beyonce Knowles Carter asked, "What's this? What's this all about? Why is this half-naked white man with a penis mask standing here in front of me?" Manzaro alleges in the lawsuit that he was then forcibly paraded through multiple rooms filled with people who were jeering and taunting him. Prominent people who were present or had knowledge of the events surrounding the freak-off that defendant Diddy planned such as Jacob Arabo, Jay-Z, Gloria Estefan, LeBron James, and Beyonce Knowles Carter, are named as witnesses. Whoa. Naturally, the term freak off has been used often in the past to characterize these protracted sexual encounters, typically involving sex workers, both in Combs' criminal case and other civil instances. However, Manzaro is suing Sean Combs, Eric Mejias, Brendan Paul, who has been described in another lawsuit as Sean Combs' drug mule, Emilio Estefan, who is married to pop star Gloria Estefan, and Adria English, who sued Sean Combs on her own, alleging she was also a victim of sex trafficking. It's noteworthy, by the way, that he isn't suing the other celebrities I listed, such as Gloria Estefan, Beyonce, and Jay-Z. This might be because he doesn't think their supposed responsibility qualifies as a civil claim, but he seems to want to call them as witnesses in court. But if this lawsuit goes forward, I have to assume they would do everything in their ability to thwart any subpoena. Will Smith is another well-known figure attempting to avoid the Diddy accusations. Will Smith said, "I haven't been anywhere near those damn freakouts," adding, "I don't even like baby oil," during a comedy event in San Diego. In reaction to accusations made against Diddy, which named Will Smith as a close acquaintance, this statement was made. It's interesting to note that Will Smith's former assistant claims to have witnessed Will cheating on Jada with Dwayne Martin. However, in the current world, it's really difficult for you people to tell what is true and what isn't, and I've been seeing your memes and other content that you're creating. I've said that while some of this content is humorous, I haven't publicly addressed any of this, but I just wanted to make this very clear. You may stop all the way since I have nothing to do with Puffy. No, oh no. Go away, freak. I do plenty of my own shit, yes. Please don't put me in other people's shoes. I've never been close to that guy. I haven't done any of that dumb shit. Therefore, if someone says that, anytime you hear it, it's a blatant falsehood. Not even baby oil appeals to me. I don't find it amusing. Yes, I haven't made it public. But no, it was my first time saying y'all.